If somebody can kill Tony and Rita, then what of the other people that you might think that they're not the best?
Still, the memories are still in our minds. We still see them, still see their picture. This is them. Honestly, if you ask me, I'm just seeing them like this.
Yule mzee alisema kwamba ni kizuri na akienda ataniletea iPhone.
It was meant to be their permanent home away from home, but it became their last resting place. Joel and Rita came to Kenya, fell in love with it, and wanted to settle here. The British couple was brutally murdered by people suspected to have been very close to them, who wanted Rita the poet and Joel the music lover dead. Tonight on Case Files, Joel and Rita starts now. For more than 15 years, the coastal town of Mombasa had witnessed the constant arrival and rare departure of a British couple. Norman Anthony Joel and Rita Marion Joel were an elderly couple from the United Kingdom who had made Kenya their home, away from home. Every time the couple will arrive, they headed straight to Sun and Sand Hotel. Hotel staff only refer to them as Rita and Joel, an elderly couple that appear to have rekindled their teenage love late in their adult life.
I joined Sun and Sun in 2006. A week after I joined, I think, they were here, and they kept on coming. As I said earlier on, that Rita and Tony were Sun and Sun. They had repeat clients. They are those who used to refer as this was their second home, far away from home. Huh?
They loved room number 132, and everyone here knew this was their room.
They could stay 2-3 weeks, go home for less than a month, and they're back.
And all of a sudden, because of their bookings, would realize they're coming and someone is there, would have to use means and ways on how we could change those other customers to another room so that we could release that for them. Because they specifically would stay in that room, not any other room.
It was not only the room that Rita and Joel fell in love with. The couple took up one of the hotel staff members as their own. Daniel Musioke, front office manager, became their favorite host. The couple developed a close relationship with him, kicking off what appeared to many as a close bond between the foreigners and the hotel manager. If not away for a few hours to purchase a new pair of clothes, Rita and Joel spent most of their time at the hotel.
In the evening, they are the first to go to the restaurant. That's the best part of them. They will always be at the restaurant. And during the entertainment part in the evening now, before we could start the show, they were the first to sit at the arena. So the show could not start without them being there.
October 2009 will turn into a mourning period for the hotel staff and those who knew the Joels. Rita and Joel's naked bodies were discovered in a thicket in Mokirungi area in Mombasa.
I was actually in the office. We're almost starting off our briefings in the morning, and a call came from, I think it came from the tourist police. It is the tourist police who called to ask us whether we knew any couple by the name Tony and Rita.
The couple had stab wounds to their necks and hands. A mobile phone lay next to the body of Rita. The two, it appeared, had been killed elsewhere and their bodies dumped in the area. Coincidentally, the couple had called the hotel a week earlier and informed them they were not planning to be booked there. Rita and Joel instead opted for Neptune Beach Hotel. Reason? The couple wanted to be close to a humanitarian project they had helped start.
Telling you that was a black day the whole hotel for everybody. No one could believe, right from the top to the bottom. No one could believe. We even had some of our staff who had to run to go to, I think, Nyali police. That's why the whole thing was just to go and witness whether this was true or false.
The bodies were moved to a local morgue as police investigators tried piecing together a killing that had no witnesses.
Moses had to go and confirm for everybody that it is true, this was real, and that was it. That was it.
On the same night, police investigators got a call from Summit Guest House informing them that a motor vehicle had been driven into the hotel. The two men were having it cleaned. The hotel staff told the police the vehicle had blood stains. Police officers left for the hotel as they struggled to understand why and how the couple died. On inquiry, the motor vehicle owners were traced to room number 11 where they found Daniel Musyoka, the very man who had developed a close bond with Joel and Rita. In room number 5, they came across Daniel Musyoka's younger brother, Paul Mutua Muasia. Daniel told the police that the vehicle had been involved in a road accident. He had used the motor vehicle to ferry the injured victim to hospital. After inquiries, the police discovered that no such incident had taken place. Police officers were not convinced. They arrested Daniel and his younger brother. Walter Otieno, the third suspect in the murder of Rita and Joel, was arrested when he went to make an inquiry at a police station where the vehicle had been detained. After several days of investigations, police concluded that the alibi of Daniel and his brother had placed them in the way of the murdered couple. Daniel Musyoka, Paul Muasia, and Walter Otieno were later to stand trial for the murder of Joel and Rita. The judge singled out Daniel Musyoka as the man who was a close friend to Joel and Rita. Hotel staff told case files Daniel was like a son to the British couple. Did Daniel and his brother kill Joel and Rita? Case files returns shortly. The prosecution lined up 16 witnesses in the murder trial that will last 6 years. The presiding judge, Justice Maureen Odero. For Daniel, this was a whole new experience, facing accusations of murdering a couple he had known for more than 10 years. The couple, Daniel told the court, would bring him gifts every time they visited Kenya. Daniel told the court police investigators had arrested the wrong person. On the local scene, little was known about the British couple that had made headlines back in the UK. Joel and Rita were foreigners, but those who had interacted with them told case files the couple had decided to settle in Kenya.
Rita was really an outgoing woman in terms of talking to people. She would create a scenario which would pull you to sit down and talk to her.
She was very outgoing, very friendly to each and every person. Her sense of humor was just top of the notch. Yeah. Sometimes I've heard that she used to be a poet, so I think from that angle, that is why she will talk to anybody, she will crack a joke to anybody. Nobody in Sun and Sand didn't know Rita.
They captured the hearts of almost everybody in the hotel. And at any given time, they pass by, no one would really dare not to open a mouth and say, hey, or jumbo to them. Rita, at times you'd see her running around, not running as in really planned to run as in jogging and all that, but just decided to run around just because she's feeling jovial and very energetic, being quite tiny. And that itself made them look special to us.
The couple had secured a home through a friend, and the visit that led to their demise will have been the last one.
Walikuja nikapambana na Rita na nikamuuliza kazi na alikuwa na kazi yeye ambayo alikuwa ataka kutengezewa name plaque, lakini ni ya house name plaque. Tukaongea biashara, akanielezea vile atakavyokuwa anavyoitaka iwe. Lakini sasa baada ya kuwa tuongea biashara, akanambia kwamba paka enda kamueleze yule mtu wao ambao anamjua zaidi, ambaye alikuwa ni mfanyakazi wapo ndani Sun & Sand. Na baadaye akarudi kweli, akaamua kunipatia ile kazi. Nikaenda nikamchongea kibao na akaletea, akanambia kile kibao ni cha nyumba ambao wako wanaitarajia hapa karibuni.
That was the last time Omar saw the couple. The couple was killed 2 weeks later, with Daniel, a man said to be closest to Joel and Rita, now in court. Those who knew Joel and Daniel closely followed events before the Mombasa court.
It was just too sad hearing a person that you've been with him, you're used to him, he's there all the time, right? And a personal perspective, it was so sad that Tony's and Rita's been butchered. It was, if somebody can kill Tony and Rita, then what of the other people that you might think that they're not the best?
A witness told the court that 2 days before the bodies of Joel and Rita were discovered in a thicket, Daniel had paid them a visit at Neptune Hotel, where they were putting up. The next time the witness saw Daniel was 2 days later, when he was called to identify him at a local police station. When a forensic expert took to the witness stand, he told the Justice Maureen Odero court sitting in Mombasa that blood-stain samples collected from the motor vehicle matched that of Joel and Rita. Daniel had told the police the bloodstains were those of an accident victim he had helped ferry to hospital. The forensic expert was able to match the blood samples from the car seat to Joel and Rita, and blood samples from the motor vehicle's floor as being a mixture of Joel's and Rita's blood, implying that maybe after their killings, the killers lumped together the bodies of the couple on the floor of the motor vehicle. Police investigators who arrested Daniel and his younger brother Paul told the trial judge that Daniel had already washed the shorts he was wearing and only emerged with a towel when police came knocking. His younger brother was arrested with blood-stained clothes. Daniel and his brother will later deny that the clothes were theirs, but scene of crime photos clearly indicated that the duo were wearing the same clothes submitted to a government analyst. A forensic expert told the court that the blood stains could not conclusively indicate that it was human blood. What is shocking, the expert in his report appeared to suggest that there was an attempt to wash out the stains from the clothes. This was after he had already informed the police that the stains were enough to sustain a forensic medical examination. The owner of the motor vehicle found in the hands of Daniel and his co-accused told the court that it was Walter Otieno who hired his motor vehicle. Otieno called the car owner and informed him that he was unable to return it a day after he had hired it. Otieno will later tell the court that indeed he had hired the motor vehicle on behalf of Daniel, who happened to be his neighbor at the time. Otieno claimed Daniel had informed him that he had visitors coming over. The vehicle, according to Otieno, was handed over to Daniel Musyoka's younger brother, Paul Muasia. Daniel and his brother denied having asked their co-accused to hire the motor vehicle on their behalf. After 6 years on trial, Daniel Musyoka, his younger brother Paul Muasia, and Walter Otieno were put on their defense. Daniel, who had been out on a police bond, appeared a relaxed man. His co-accused, his younger brother Paul Mutua, avoided the cameras. Walter Otieno, the man who had hired the vehicle that would later ferry Joel and Rita's bodies, was in a pensive mood. In her ruling, Justice Maureen Odero said that the 3 accused persons were somehow linked to the murder of Joel and Rita, but that was based on pure suspicion. Suspicion, she says, was not enough. The judge ruled that Daniel was a close friend of Joel and Rita and had at some point been given 500,000 shillings to buy land. The judge said Joel and Rita were like his biological parents. The verdict took another shocking turn. The judge ruled that the prosecution had deliberately failed to produce in court a key witness who had witnessed the arrival of the motor vehicle at the guest house where Daniel and his younger brother were arrested at. The prosecution had apparently failed on several occasions to produce the key witness in court, despite having powers to compel the witness to appear before the judge. The judge had powers to direct that the prosecution had the duty to produce in court the witness. Justice Odero did not appear to have taken into account a forensic expert's findings that the blood stains at the backseat of the motor vehicle matched that of the slain British couple. The judge also never questioned why Daniel and his younger brother lied to police investigators that the blood in the motor vehicle was that of a road accident victim, and yet it was that of his friends, Joel and Rita. Instead, the judge said the trial was based on pure suspicion. Suspicion, however strong, she maintained, was not enough evidence. The judge reminded the prosecution that Daniel and his brother were arrested 2 days before the bodies of the British couple were discovered. Again, the judge saying police investigators were just suspicious of the two.
I'm of the opinion that the evidence presented to this court lacked coherency and leaves many questions unanswered. The evidence cannot be by any means said to be watertight. There does certainly exist a great suspicion that the accused persons may have been involved in the death of the deceased, but courts have severally held that suspicion alone, no matter how strong, cannot form the basis for a conviction. There must exist tangible and concrete evidence adduced to remove issues in dispute from the realm of suspicion and into the realm of proven facts. This standard has not been met in this case.
The judge sided with Daniel and his younger brother over the hired motor vehicle, saying the testimony of the third accused person, Walter Otieno, could not be believed because he was an accused person in the trial. The judge ruled that there was no enough evidence linking the accused to the murder of Joel and Rita. Daniel Musyoka, Paul Muasia, Walter Otieno was set free.
Even on the basis of circumstantial evidence, this court cannot find that it was the three accused persons or any of them who brutally attacked and killed the two deceased. The actor's rears for the offense of murder has not been proved to the standard required in law. I therefore enter with the verdict of not guilty, and I acquit each of the accused persons of the offense of murder. They are each to be set at liberty unless they are otherwise lawfully held.
Little is known about the final journey of the jovial couple, the poet and the music lover, Joel and Rita.
Tony was this kind of a good granddad, I would say. They're more or less the same in terms of behaviors and sense of humor. Tony is that kind of person you see and say, throw a joke at you, maybe a swearing one, but because you and Tony are, you know this kind of jokes. In my local language, Swahili or something of the sort, and say, pumbavu vipi. So, not because he's abusing you, but because you and Tony knew one another, right?
Kila wakati ukimwona yeye alikuwa anasikiza muziki. Na hii kuongea mnaongea. Na kila ukimwona pesa kibao, yule mzee alisema kwamba ni kizuri na akienda ataniletea iPhone ambayo itakuwa inaweza weka muziki ndani.
Too unfortunate. Personally, if you ask me, I couldn't get an answer. I couldn't get an answer because I was just thinking,
Case Files got in touch with Daniel Musioko for an interview, which he agreed to, but later changed his mind. For Joel and Rita, it was a case of a couple that loved the country so much, but never lived to live in it. The killers of the fun-loving couple might never be known. Case Files, Joel and Rita, is now a case closed. Denson Sarigo for Case Files.